Let's look at how to write a problem statement that practically writes your thesis. One of the biggest reasons students struggle with their thesis is that they start with a weak problem statement. And when the problem statement is weak, everything else becomes harder. Your objective becomes unclear. Your research questions become confusing. Even your methodology starts to fall apart. So, how do you write a strong problem statement? I always use a simple framework when it comes to this, and I call it the 4G framework. And this covers ground, gap, gravity, and goal. So let's go through it. First, ground. You have to start by establishing the context. What is already known about your topic? For example, we know that study habits influence academic performance. So this gives the reader a starting point. Next is the gap. Now identify what is missing. Maybe previous studies focus on university students but ignored high school students. Maybe the findings are inconsistent. Maybe no one has studied your region. This is the heart of your problem because research begins where knowledge ends. Third one, gravity. Why does this gap matter? What happens if this problem remains unsolved? Does it affect students, teachers, businesses, healthcare, or policy? A gap without significance is just an observation. So make sure this matter, a gap with consequences, becomes a research problem to solve. And finally, goal. Now explain how your study addresses that gap, not by promising to solve every problem, but by contributing new evidence. I don't know if you've noticed something here. Your problem statement is not just describing a problem, it is building more of a logical argument. It says, here's what we know, here's what we don't know, here's why that matters, and here's what this study will do. So, a common mistake some people make is confusing a topic with a problem. My study is about social media. Okay, but that is a topic and it is not a problem. The problem is the unanswered question within that topic. And once you identify that, your research almost starts writing itself because every chapter that follows, like your objectives, methodology, discussion, will all be working to answer the same problem. So, before you start spending weeks writing your thesis, spend time getting your problem statement right because a strong thesis doesn't begin with a great title. It begins with a clear problem worth investigating.